Well, congratulations on the film, first of all. It's so much fun to watch.
Oh, good.
Yeah, like probably the obvious question. So you wrote and direct this feature. Where did the story come from, and was it already obvious when writing the script that you were going to direct it as well?
So the story came from a news item a few years ago where NASA announced that for the first time they had an astronaut candidate class that was 50% female. And this was maybe 8 years ago, something like that. And I was so struck by this milestone, like that it had taken so long, but also that it had happened at all. I was happy about it. And so I just started to read about it because I was really curious about who these women were. And the more I read, the more I was incredibly impressed by how accomplished you have to be to make it to the point that NASA would even invite you down to maybe be considered. And I mean, like, so accomplished and so focused on this for so many years of your life. And it's pretty extreme. And these extreme characters make for good comedy. And I was looking to do a comedy. Like, I knew after the last drama that I made, that was this low budget, intense movie, that I was ready for something bigger and lighter, and that I wanted to try to do something almost like old fashioned. So this world, I was like, oh, this is it. Like, I want to tell a story set in this world. And yeah, so I always knew I was going to direct it. I was going to write it on spec and send it out with myself attached, but I just happened to pitch it to the head of this studio, Greg Silverman, the head of Stampede. And he was like, oh, no, don't, like, we'll buy it. So then I just wound up developing it with them. And it was great. It was all a great experience.
Dr. Tiffany Simpson, you have been selected for astronaut training.
I'm gonna be an astronaut!
How did you film during the training when Rex like trains in the ship? Like, how did you do it on the set, build it, like the different like lights?
Yeah.
And
so there was a set of the interior of the space center, of the space station. That set already existed and had been used by a few different productions. And it was in, I believe, Los Angeles. So we shipped it all the way out to New Jersey.
Oh.
And it looks like, I mean, the space station now is a little more updated, but it's meant to be a replica. So it's pretty sound. So the inside of that set, was a set. And then we shot our last week at the Air and Space Museum in Huntington, Alabama, where they also have a 2-scale replica of the space station. That's where the exteriors were when you see them. And Logan is telling them, well, you're going to go in there and it's a replica and it's so exciting. They used that because they have this really cool, like the famous space camp is there at that museum. And they have the kids learn how to function on the space station stuff in that model that we filmed the outside.
Over the next 9 weeks, you will be trained and tested. Most of you will not pass.
Which test would you find the hardest to all the tests they have to go through to become an astronaut?
Oh my God. I mean, I am so ill-suited for any of that stuff, like in any way, that I think I would just pass out immediately. Like, I could run, I could do that stuff, but any spinny stuff, any go up in the plane, no gravity stuff, forget it. Scuba diving stuff, whoa. No, I'm chicken. I just live behind my computer. That's all I do.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for this interview, and yeah, good luck with the release of the film.
Thank you so much.
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you.
Once upon a time, I had bigger dreams. I see a girl.
3,
Look!
2, 1.
That's gonna be you one day, Rex.
I know it, Mom.
But sometimes, life doesn't always work out the way you planned.
Yo.
Can I get you another drink? 10 years ago, I got lost. Last call, everybody, last call! But it's not too late. I'm gonna be an astronaut.
Oh my God. Wait, come again?
Dear NASA.
No, girl.
This resume will never get you in, but let's make a few changes that will.
Dear NASA, I've accomplished everything I've ever wanted.
Dr. Tiffany Simpson, you have been selected for astronaut training.
I'm gonna be an astronaut! Johnson Space Center. I'm actually here.
Dr. Stacy Kellogg, MD, PhD.
Mancini, Captain, Jack.
Violet Marie Veslovsky.
We have a special name for astronaut candidates, ASCANs.
What?
Over the next 9 weeks, you will be trained and tested. Most of you will not pass.
Mama, is that an astronaut?
Not with my tax dollars, she's not.
Are we sure Dr. Simpson belongs here?
We need unconventional candidates. She built a series of gates to protect the manatees from speedboats.
When we were kids, you inspired me.
You took everything out about my resume being made up and said it wasn't made up.
Get your ass back home before you hurt somebody.
I was born to do this. Once you let your dreams out of the box, you can't just shove them back in.
723, you're clear for takeoff.
Punch it, Flamingo.